6:52.
People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Today we will begin our podcast with two quotes from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the first one is, there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it is right. The second one, it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the ventriloquic words and the violent actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence of and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time. These quotes are so relevant for today, for we have many of our leaders today who are not speaking out against issues that we need help with. It is time, I say it is time for an opportunity for you that you've been waiting for. I know you said, I wish I had a business that I could participate in. Now you have the opportunity to participate in the business with Bibb's Business Opportunity Grand Opening. This business opportunity is part of SNAP, and SNAP has added Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. Also, SNAP has added ERC refund, $1.9 trillion. Did I say $1.9 trillion? Yes, $1.9 trillion. You can receive up to $26,000 per employee who is eligible to receive this benefit. If you own a business in the United States, you are eligible. If you have a nonprofit organization, you now qualify for a federal tax refund check. All you have to do is join SNAP Delivered for free. Did I say free? Yes, for free. For more information, you can call Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr.'s office at 216-681-1469 or Mr. Bibb's mobile phone at 216-659-4619. So people, buckle up your seatbelts and get ready for an inspirational night tonight. We have some hot breaking news that we're going to bring to you. Mr. Bibbs, get your mind ready, get your hearts ready to receive Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb Record Mark, the star of the show. Mr. Bibbs, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Dan Perry. You get better and better every week.
Yes, sir.
You get better singing that People Get Ready.
Thank you,
and they're
Mr.
getting ready.
Yes, sir.
And I love the way you read Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King quotes.
Yes, sir.
And you just left off one thing this week. You say they're not saying anything. I always give a good example.
Yes.
I'm waiting on some of them to say something about St. Vincent.
St. Vincent, yes.
Hospital.
Yes.
Affects the whole community.
Yes, sir.
They didn't say nothing when Huron Road was shut down in East Cleveland, and we lost a whole hospital for a whole city.
Yes.
So now they better be careful. Better start speaking up about St. Vincent, because we're not going to stop talking about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, here we go. And as Reverend Fair says, pass your seatbelts. We have some awesome information. The first person coming with the information Miss Vivian Louise Sharp. Bring it on into the house.
Hello and welcome. Welcome, all people. I am Vivian Louise Sharp. Hello and welcome again. Welcome to this announcement of my Discover Yourself streaming radio app. Time is marching on, folks. Join me on Discover Yourself. Join all of us on my Discover Yourself radio app. We're streaming. We have more variety on interviews daily and galore. Our website is sharpparagon@gmail.com. That's our email. Our telephone number is 216-307-5100. 216-307-5100. Now is the time. Discover yourself. Don't wait to be discovered. Discover yourself. Back to you, Mr. Bibb, and thank you for a wonderful day.
Thank you, Miss Vivian Louise Sharp. Glad to have you back with us after being after one show.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on our lineup, our all-star lineup, is Miss Joanne Holly, recording artist, gospel and soul and pop. Are you in the house, Miss Joanne Holly?
I am in the house, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr.
Well, bring us that great news you have for us this week.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Well, good afternoon, my kings and queens. Hollywood is on the scene. I want to share with you some life-changing information. Making money with cryptocurrencies. Let me share with you how I am building a legacy for my family. This is real and this is powerful. You can earn while you learn. You can earn while you sleep. You can help your family build a legacy. It's time not to be broke. It's time for your family not to be broke. Raise money for your church, a family reunion, a down payment on a house, down payment on a car, a wedding, a vacation, a new business. Superstars, this is our chance. Time to step up. I need you to join us Saturday, October the 1st. Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. will be on the spot. Doors open at 4 p.m. 17325 Euclid at London Road, second floor conference room, suite 2011. Free admission, free refreshments. That's going to be 4 p.m. The doors will open October the 1st. That's Euclid at London Road, 17325, second floor. Free admission, free refreshments. If you have any questions, you can call 216-266-0089. I'm having a special conference call tomorrow, Thursday, at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. If you want to share with family and friends, you can. Just call 216-266-0089. Leave your number or email, and I will send you the conference call number. Some more hot news is coming. Thank you so much, Mr. Bibb. I love the show. I love everybody that's part of this show, and we're going to make some things happen. Back to you, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr.
All right, before you leave us, Miss Joanne Holly, give us the phone number and the email again.
Okay, phone number is 216-266-0089. Body Magic at adih.biz. Body, BODYMAGIC at A as in Apple, D as in David, I as in Ice, H as in House. ADIH.biz. B as in boy, I, Z as in zebra.
All right, thank you, Miss Joanne Holly. Great job. I'm looking forward to the call on Thursday night and the big celebration on Saturday. Thank you. And now we're hitting you with a 1-2 punch. Now, Mr. James Jerome Bell, we're going to snap delivery to get the new promoted and the graduate of snap delivery system, Miss Candace Jones, come on down right here, live and in living color.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb. For those of you who have been tuning in for the past few weeks, I've been talking about Snap Delivered. Snap Delivered was launched last year as a food delivery service, and it's great for restaurants, drivers, and customers because the restaurants only charge $2 per delivery instead of the 20, 30, or 40% of the total of the delivery, total of the items being delivered. Other services are charging 20, 30, or 40%. Snap Delivered is only charging $2 per delivery. So it's a great way for restaurants to save on money on their food delivery services because a lot of restaurants are still depending on food delivery because they don't have either they don't have the employees to work inside the restaurant or they don't have the capacity. So they're still relying on food delivery as well. So the other thing with Snap Delivered is Snap Financial. So all of you have know someone that has been affected by the pandemic. So back in 2020, the CARES Act came out, and as a part of the CARES Act, there was the ERC program, which is the Employee Retention Program, and there was the PPP, which is a payroll protection program. In 2020, a lot of businesses were applying for the PPP because it was a simpler process to apply for, and they were able to get funds. At that point in 2020, business can only apply for one or the other, either the ERC or the PPP. As of 2021, business could apply for either one, either or they could, if they applied for PPP, they could also apply for ERC. A lot of businesses don't believe they qualify or don't know that they can still apply for the ERC funds. So the ERC, again, is part of the CARES Act. And as part of the CARES Act, it was stated that a business can apply for ERC 3 years after 2020. So for 2020, 3 years is going to be closing down in 2023. For 2021, it's going to be closing down in 2024. So we're closing in on the fourth quarter of 2022 now. So a business needs to see if they qualify and how much funds they can qualify for. They can sign up and register for free. A business can get up to $26,000 per employee, per W-2 employee. So they should sign up, see if how much funds they qualify for. Not every business is the same, and it's for businesses that had between 10 and 500 employees, either at the time of the pandemic or that they have on hand at this point. But I recommend that a business goes through the process. Now, there is a fee that a business has to pay, and it's $2,600. But if the accounting firm that they're working with does not find any funds for them that they qualify for, they get that $2,600 back. So they're not out anything. But if they do qualify for funds and they are able to get a tax credit based off of those employees that they have, this is money that they would not have been getting before anyway. This is through the IRS. It's not through a bank. These funds, the business can use it however they choose to use it. It's not earmarked for anything, and it does not have to be paid back. So if a business has the ability to be able to apply for a tax credit, I suggest they do that, and they can contact any of the SNAP representatives, Mr. Bibb, me, or any SNAP resource that they have, and they can get them registered and get them going on the process. So the accounting firm actually takes care of all of the paperwork, filing with the IRS, and it's an amendment of the 941 that was filed for employee taxes. So it's a 941X that's filed through the IRS, and the accounting firm takes care of all of that. You just have to supply them with the information, you're you will be put in contact with someone from the accounting firm that you can ask questions with. That will be your resource throughout the whole process. So it's not like you're just, out on your own. It's an accounting firm that specializes in ERC tax credits, employee retention tax credits. That's great. So just like when you go to a doctor, and you may have a general practitioner that you see for different types of things. And if you have a heart problem, you're going to go to a heart specialist for that issue that you may have. You're not going to just want anybody to help you out through your heart problem. Well, this is the same type of thing. You want to go to a specialist that is certified and qualified to be able to handle the ERC tax credit program. It is more complicated than the PPP process, so you need someone that's up to date on all the regulation changes that have been going on over the years since 2020, and all the legal ramification or legal rules that are in place for that as well. So I suggest the business at least register to see if they qualify for funds that they may not think they do.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Candace Jones. You made that real plain. And we all are going to start looking for our business opportunity through businesses that we know personally.
Yes, sir.
These, you don't have to go to a coal market. Everybody knows somebody that got 10 employees. And we're going to start working that. And we're going to give this a special session this coming Saturday. We'll speak about that. Mr. Ben Fair is going to read us the agenda as soon as Reverend Ben Fair, would you bring us up to date on what's happening at St. Vincent Hospital, the latest?
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibb. The latest that's happening at the St. Vincent Charity Medical Center in Cleveland, the St. Vincent will be laying off 978 workers when it ends when the services end in November. The hospital, part of Sisters of Charity Health System, ending inpatient care and most other services in November. After the transition, the facility will offer outpatient behavioral health, urgent care, and primary care. The health center attributed the changing to several factors, including the rise in demand for outpatient care, declining patient volume, and shifts in the healthcare industry over the last 10 years that have made it challenging to continue operating St. Vincent Charity Medical Center as an acute care hospital. The changes will result in 978 employees being laid off on November the 15th, according to the notice filed with the state regulators. This extremely difficult decision is being made with deep respect and gratitude for our caregivers, and we regret the direct impact this decision will have on those individuals that read the layoff notice from the hospital. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic, the challenging healthcare landscape, the declining in patient volumes have led to the significant financial challenges that became impossible to overcome. The layoff will affect 446 full-time workers, 264 part-time employees, and 268 workers who are called into work as needed. A spokesperson for Sisters of Charity Health System told Becker Hospital Review. Medical residents at St. Vincent Charity Medical Center have been invited to move to Cleveland-based university hospitals. Sisters of Charity Health System is also hosting a job fair at hospitals with St. Vincent, with University Hospital and other organizations. and the hospital will continue to provide employees assistance programs for support with personal and work-related issues, the spokesman for Beckers said. So St. Vincent Charity Hospital, as it stands right now, Mr. Bibbs, will be closing on November the 15th, and it'll be laying off 978 employees, including resident doctors.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. That
Yes, sir.
was an awesome report.
Yes, sir.
It's been rumored around town, this many laid off and that many laid off. But you got the report that was the hospital had to give the Ohio State regulators.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we call the real deal.
Yes, sir.
And I might remind you, it has not come to anybody's attention as of yet. It has not become an emergency for anybody who's in office, government office now, or any other people in office, because we have so many Fortune 500 companies here and so many billion-dollar operations here, and nobody stepped forward. I want you to go for next week. There are demographics for the hospital is, tells how many poor people live there, how many African Americans live around the city, and bring that back to us next week, would you please?
We'll do, Mr.
Because
Bibbs.
I don't think anybody's paying this enough attention. I'm from the city of East Cleveland, and I know what happened with the city of East Cleveland when Huron Road was shut down, and it's just a parking lot now.
Yes.
So we have to be real careful in the big city of Cuyahoga County, the biggest, richest city in the state of Ohio,
Yes,
to
sir.
let this happen. We haven't heard from anybody. I have not heard from either one of the. You were at the debate Monday. Is that true?
Yes, I will.
Did either one of the candidates say anything about St. Vincent?
No, St. Vincent was not mentioned.
So they're not interested in St. Vincent either. Neither one of the candidates.
It was not mentioned.
We'll have to let them know they can come on the show and explain to us why they're not talking about St. Vincent.
All right.
Okay?
Yes,
I'll
sir.
help you put that letter together.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. James Jerome Bell.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have what we call in the big city a throwdown on Saturday. Would you read to our audience what's going to happen on Saturday at Chandler Park? Right, straight from the top.
Well, Bibb's Business Opportunity Mall, Charles E. Bibb Sr.
That's not the top. This is the top up here.
Oh, Bibb's Video Podcast, People Get Ready, every Wednesday, 6 to 7, 8 p.m. on KAC Radio TV Network. Charles E. Bibb Sr. of Bibb's Record Shop, Business Opportunity Mall. You are invited to celebrate with us. 3 presentations. Number 1, Snap Delivered and Snap Financial, Business Briefing, How Program Works. Join for free. 2, Go Live Live. Change your health and lifestyle. 3, Joanne Holly, Making Money with Cryptocurrency. Celebration of promotions. A, Candace Jones, Snap Deliver Promotion, and ERC Achievement. B, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., Promotion Snap Delivery. C, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., Go Love Life. Music, celebration, cooling the gang, entertainment, refreshments. The event will take place Saturday, October 1st, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. No charge. Please RSVP to Candace at 216-570-4738 by Friday. Text or leave message.
Would you read the last line again, Mr. James Jerome Bell?
Please RSVP to Candace at 570-4738 by Friday. Text or leave message.
All right, thank you. So we're going to have a celebration following the promotion, and we're going to have live entertainment. And we're going to have what we call a Cool in the Gang celebration, along with the refreshments, live entertainment, and music by Miss Sharon Pittman and Associates. She's an event planner also, so Miss Sharon Pittman will be there. So we're going to have a wonderful opportunity, and you might have some of your business plans come, and they get a chance to talk directly to Miss Candace Jones, who is being promoted by Snap Delivery. And we'll have Mr. James Panicus by phone, who was in Las Vegas. He'll be on a little later in the show to talk about how I was promoted in Las Vegas, but due to the COVID-19, I'm not traveling right now. So we're gonna wait a little while longer on that issue. But Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
I hope you can make it Saturday, because I'm asking all of the folks who are with us on the show to take advantage of this free SNAP delivery. Ms. Candace Jones, would you tell us again about that free, how you get in SNAP free? So Mr. Mike Seals and Mr. Nixon can hear it in Ward 7. They're listening right now. How you get in free?
You can sign up with Snap Delivered for free. All either Mr. Bibb or someone would send you a link. You click on the link, you just enter your information in, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything to register with Snap Delivered. And then you have available to you all the different entities with Snap Delivered. The food delivery program, which you can sign up restaurants, drivers or customers, and you can make a commission off of what they do. You can sign up a business for ERC, and you can make a commission off of the what a business gets money back. So there's commission to be made. You can make commission off of the different entities with Snap Delivered, and you can join it for free.
Okay,
So
thank you,
make money
Ms.
for free.
Thank you. In other words, you can get in free and make money.
Yes. Yes.
So
That's great.
I think we're gonna do like they're doing with the flood in Florida. We're gonna have some mandatory around here. You like that, Mr. James Bell? And that Nixon is the new president of the Ward 7 Democratic Club, Jeff Nixon, and Mike Seals is the spanking brand new ward leader.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And he took the late councilman, Bashir Jones' place, the ward leader.
Oh, great.
So they're both going to be doing a great job down there for the poor and the needy, and trying to find as many fees to get in and make this money as possible. Thank you. All right, we're going to move the agenda. And now we get into some very serious business. We've been running a series on Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from his letter from the Birmingham jail. There's Sharon Pittman in the house.
Hello, Mr. Bibb and listening audience and
All
viewing
right.
audience. Hello, yes, I am going to ask that you just bear with me for a moment as I flip through my screens here. Okay, so we're in week 3 of this series, and in last week's segment, we read from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail, where he addressed the nature of segregation, giving vivid descriptions of the pains of segregation and racism and the effect it has on the African American family as a whole. The failings of white Americans will be covered in today's segment in our reading of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail. Just one moment. All right. So where we left off, I'm just going to end off with the end of the paragraph. As I said, he gave a very vivid description to those 8 clergymen of how we as a whole are affected, not just we adults, our children, how we have to explain to our children what it is that we're living through, this racism and segregation. He went on to write to them and say that there comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over and men are no longer willing to be plunged into an abyss of injustice where they experience the bleakness of corroding despair. I hope, sirs, you can understand our legitimate and unavoidable impatience. You express a great deal of anxiety over our willingness to break laws. This is certainly a legitimate concern, since we are so diligently urging people to obey the Supreme Court's decision of 1954 outlawing segregation in the public schools. It is rather strange and paradoxical to find us consciously breaking laws. One may well ask, how can you advocate breaking some laws and obeying others? The answer is found in the fact that there are 2 types of laws. There are just laws and there are unjust laws. I would agree with St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law at all. Now, what is the difference between the two? How does one determine when a law is just or unjust? A just law is a man-made code that squares with the moral law or the law of God. An unjust law is a code that is out of harmony with the moral law. To put it in the terms of St. Thomas Aquinas, an unjust law is a human law that is not rooted in eternal and natural law. Any law that uplifts human personality is just. Any law that degrades human personality is unjust. All segregation statutes are unjust because segregation distorts the soul and damages the personality. It gives the segregator a false sense of superiority and the segregated a false sense of inferiority. To use the words of Martin Buber, the great Jewish philosopher, segregation substitutes an I-it relationship for the I-thou relationship and ends up relegating persons to the status of things. So segregation is not only politically, economically, and socially unsound, but it is morally wrong and sinful. Paul Tillich has said that sin is separation. Isn't segregation an existential expression of man's tragic separation, an expression of his awful estrangement, his terrible sinfulness? So I can urge man to obey the 1954 decision of the Supreme Court because it is morally right. And I can urge them to disobey segregation ordinances because they are morally wrong. Let us turn to a more concrete example of just and unjust laws. An unjust law is a code that a majority inflicts on a minority that is not binding on itself. This is difference made legal. On the other hand, a just law is a code that a majority compels a minority to follow, and that it is willing to follow itself. This is sameness made legal. Let me give another explanation. An unjust law is a code inflicted upon a minority which that minority had no part in enacting or creating because it did not have the unhampered right to vote. Who can say that the legislature of Alabama, which set up the segregation laws, was democratically elected? Throughout the state of Alabama, all types of conniving methods are used to prevent Negroes from becoming registered voters. And there are some counties without a single Negro registered to vote, despite the fact that the Negroes constitute a majority of the population. How can any law set up in such a state be considered democratically structured? These are just a few examples of unjust and just laws. There are some instances when a law is just on its face and unjust in its application. For instance, I was arrested Friday on a charge of parading without a permit. Now, there is nothing wrong with an ordinance which requires a permit for a parade. But when the ordinance is used to preserve segregation and to deny citizens the First Amendment privilege of peaceful assembly and peaceful protest, then it becomes unjust. Of course, there is nothing new about this kind of civil disobedience. It was seen sublimely in the refusal of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to obey the laws of Nebuchadnezzar, because a higher moral law was involved. It was practiced superbly by the early Christians who were willing to face hungry lions and the excruciating pain of chopping blocks before submitting to certain unjust laws of the Roman Empire. To a degree, academic freedom is a reality today because Socrates practiced civil disobedience. We can never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal, and everything the Hungarian freedom fighters did in Hungary was illegal. It was illegal to aid and comfort a Jew in Hitler's Germany. But I am sure that if I had lived in Germany during that time, I would have aided and comforted my Jewish brothers, even though it was illegal. If I lived in a communist country today where certain principles dear to the Christian faith are suppressed, I believe I would openly advocate disobeying those anti-religious laws. I must make two honest confessions to you, my Christian and Jewish brothers. First, I must confess that over the last few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride toward freedom is not the white citizen's counselor or the Ku Klux Klanner, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice. Who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice? Who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I can't agree with your methods or direct action? Who patronistically feels that he can set the timetable for another man's freedom? Who lives by the myth of time and who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season? Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. In your statement, you asserted that our actions, even though peaceful, must be condemned because they precipitate violence. But can this assertion be logically made? Isn't this like condemning the robbed man because his possession of money precipitated an evil act of robbery? Isn't this like condemning Socrates because his unswerving commitment to truth and his philosophical delvings precipitated the misguided popular mind to make him drink the hemlock? Isn't this like condemning Jesus because his unique God conscious and never ceasing devotion to his will precipitated the evil act of crucifixion? We must come to see, as federal courts have consistently affirmed, that it is immoral to urge an individual to withdraw his efforts to gain his basic constitutional rights because the quest precipitates violence. Society must protect the robbed and punish the robber. And I'm going to stop right there for today's segment. Thank you all for listening. And thank you, Mr. Bibb, for having me on.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon Penman, for another well-done job. And we really appreciate this. And as you were reading, we were all getting in the mind of where Martin Luther King was at that time. And Reverend Ben Fair had just gave some of his quotes earlier. And the part that you were saying about people doing nothing about weight, that's the
Yes,
same thing you're doing now?
Yeah.
The St.
yes,
Vincent. But next
that's
on our
right.
program, I have someone that has another side of the St. Vincent story. The Union Executive Vice President herself, Miss Sarah Samara Knight. Are you in the house?
Yes, she is.
Is she in the house?
Yes.
She's
Yes.
going to give us
Hello.
the union side of the
Hello.
story
Yes, we
of
can
St.
hear
Hello.
you.
Vincent.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you all on my end, so I do apologize. I was trying to get in. But thank you, Mr. Bibb, for having me on your show. I want to address some issues that are going on at St. Vincent's, and I heard the hospital side for a week and a half now. SEIU represents over 170 workers at St. Vincent Charity Hospital. We have received notice. We received notice on September the 14th, a warrant notice that our bargaining unit employees will be laid off, and we represent steel processing, central supply, plant ops, LPNs, emitting, ER, clerical, you name it. We're really the backbone of the hospital. What is disturbing is I believe this hospital knew this all along. Not only did they lay off my folks, I talked to Rachel, who is the vice president of ONA. They have approximately 200, I believe, and 6 nurses. They gave she received layoff notice for all of them as well. What is disturbing is I haven't, as far as community support, I have regular community constituents coming up asking, but the folks that we elect is very slim to none. I had attended council this past Monday with members from St. Vincent Hospital. One of our rank and file leaders and delegates, Miss Christine Robinson, who's been employed at the hospital for 56 years, spoke on the vital services that, the hospital given that what the workers do. This is gentrification at its finest. I don't understand how the city of Cleveland can bring in millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to build a jail on contaminated soil, but you can't save a hospital with vital services. I have heard all of the excuses on why it cannot be done. And what I have told elected officials is, when have we stopped fighting for poor people, people of color? I mean, this has been going on for a long time, from St. Luke's to Mount Sinai, St. Michael's, Heron Road, now St. Vincent's Hospital. We also know that St. Vincent's received money from the CARES Act, over $15 million in that. They received money for the PPE loan as well. And it's just been little regard for the workers that have been in that hospital for years to come. Everyone I'm talking about, I'm speaking to everybody I'm talking about management, corporate, CEOs, CFOs of the hospital, is speaking to council, city council, elected officials, but not one of those council members have addressed our members and come and talk to them, which I addressed that concern today. Now, when they say they're offering job fairs, that is true, but we want our folks to, even if there's an opportunity for a job, it's just not like they're just saying, here, we have a job place for you. These folks have to go rebid at another job, which is, they think is absurd, when it's like, if you got a job open for me, put me over there. But that's not what happened. It's a whole nother application process. So I want folks to think, well, they're having these job bids for workers. No, it's like they reapplying for jobs, okay? That's the first thing. And they want them to reapply at University Hospital. That's where they have the job fair for them at. I know it's been talked to UH, but these are non-union jobs. If you're going to give workers jobs and say you're going to help them and give them the basic needs they need and quality of life, those should be union jobs. Unions are the backbone of this country, and then we get blatant disrespect and little regard for the little worker that is out there doing the work. You know, I represent educators, librarians. We a variety of CMSD. What else? We have CMSD. We have parole officers. We hospital, nursing home workers. Who's going to come out and speak for these folks? Because during the pandemic, they were calling them heroes. Now they treat these folks like zeros, no regard, and they just amended their policy where it says they changed the years of service in the hospital policy, as far as if the hospital closed or whatever, that people will get, I want to get it right, folks will receive a severance package based on their years of service. Well, they just modified that right before they announced the closure, and they made it clear that they carved out SEIU and ONA from the severance package due to saying that they have a labor contract. Yes, that is true. We do have a labor contract, but what that has to do with giving folks they just do. These people are the backbone of the hospital. They keep it open. And tell me how poor people going to get over the bridge to Metro? If something happened, if it's a trauma, where are they supposed to go? Because if you think a clinic or UH going to come and take our folks in like that, doesn't happen that well. If you see LaPico Tiles is right across the street, those folks in the high rise that are used to going across the street to get vital care, where are these folks going to go? It's easy to say, they can go to Cleveland Clinic or they can go to University Hospital. But what about the hospital in our community for our people? It's very dismissive. It comes off as dismissive to working people. I haven't heard not one person stand up and say, I'm going to acknowledge these workers. I'm going to fight with them workers. I did when we attended council on Monday night. I retract that. When we attended council on Monday night, Councilman Blaine Griffin said during the end, he said, "We with you." Well, what does "we with you" mean? What does "we with you" mean? Because
Ms. Knight, let me ask you about city council. The union was at city council Monday night.
Yes, sir.
Was the president of council there?
Yes.
Was the mayor there?
Yes.
Which ones are meeting with you?
No one has came in there.
I said, which one's meeting with you? The mayor meeting with you or the city council president meeting with you?
Well, the council president did reach out today to meet. The mayor office did reach out last week when an announcement was made to say what is anything we could do to help with the workers. My thing is this.
When is your meeting with the mayor?
I haven't locked down no date. I'm going to
When is
try
your
to get
meeting
it
with the
done
council president?
next week. Yes, next week.
You're meeting with the council president next week?
Yes. And the council president wanted to talk to us in City Hall, but I said it's appropriate place and time to do that. If you want to talk to me and my members, you call us into your office. I don't meet in hallways. That's the first thing I address the council with. The second thing is I don't need them to meet with me per se. I need them to meet with the workers that I represent along with the union leadership and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Quit talking about I'm going to transfer you to jobs and help you get over here. What about fighting to keep this hospital open? We are too quick to concede and just get along and accept this.
Let me ask you another question. You haven't had a meeting with the council president yet, have you?
Over the phone, but not in person, yes.
Oh, they don't keep records of over the phone meeting. Only
That's
council
correct.
meeting.
I know that.
All right.
I know
Thank
that.
you very kindly. We're going to bring you back next week because we're running out of time.
Oh, can I say something, Mr. Bibb, before my time concedes? October the 5th, SEIU is holding a rally out in front of St. Vincent's Hospital at 3 p.m. We encourage everyone to come and support these workers. Even if the ink is dry on the paper, we still need to let those folks know and our members know that we are fighting for them. We're just not fighting for our workers. We're fighting for that community. And gentrification is at a all-time high in Cleveland. And I keep hearing different numbers, Mr. Bibb. They said when I went to the meeting it was 850 workers, and they were only keeping 100 of those workers. Now I hear it's something totally
Hold
different.
on a minute.
I will.
Hold a minute, Miss Knight. Reverend Fair, read what the St. Vincent turned into the state of Ohio. The number. Read that line, please.
All right. The number that they turned in was 978.
And who did they turn that into?
They turned that into the state regulators.
Did you hear that, Ms. Knight?
I heard that, and I know what they turned into.
They turned the number into the state of Ohio, 978. And they showed they showed them on Channel 19. I was looking at the reporter when he used the Freedom of Information Act to get the exact number. So the exact number is 978. And you can get the same information. Yes.
Yeah, out that 978, they're only keeping 100 workers. But I'm glad to come back on the show next week after the rally to show you the money that they received from the CARES Act, the PPE Act, and how much what houses and everything else that they live in. Because this is, you get rid of the little guy and keep the top guy up.
Ms. Knight,
I would share that.
let me ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
I've been protesting and rallying all my life. I protested with Martin Luther King. What's
Correct.
the purpose of the rally? What do you want to get from the rally in St. Vincent? What do you call a win?
What I call a win is the first thing we'll do, the win for us will be to keep that hospital open like Dennis Kucinich kept St. Michael's open. Please don't tell me it can't happen. It can. People want it to.
Now let me ask you something.
Okay.
You're gonna tell the council president and the mayor that too, right?
Absolutely.
All right, now we together. Let's go. Definitely be back next week, Miss Candace Jones will be getting with you again and giving you what time you'll be speaking. Thank you. Very good job.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
All right. Brother James Jerome Bell,
Yes.
we're running out of time, but I want you to share with me, Ms. Gwen Jarvis had an emergency and couldn't get the report from St. Vincent. Do you have any additional report from Cleveland Clinic?
Well, Cleveland Clinic is still in the midst of their hiring agenda of 1,200 Cleveland residents by the end of 2022.
Let me ask you a question. You think they're still hiring over there at Cleveland Clinic?
Yes, I do.
Can you find out who's doing the hiring?
I will have it next week.
Yeah, because there's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah, yes it is.
Cleveland Clinic put out a press release. They looking for 1,200 people. And then Ben Fair told me 900 got laid off in the hospital. The numbers don't add up. Something's going on. So find out from Cleveland Clinic. You have to go up the ladder to get the information. Okay. How many they hired.
Okay.
And during the time that you're doing the work, let me know. You don't have to wait till next Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Candace Jones?
Yes.
Is Mr. James Panicus in the house?
Yes, he is.
Mr. James Panicus?
Yes. How are you doing, Mr. Bibb?
All right. I want to know 2 or 3 things. How are you first?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic.
I'm jacked to the highest, the jackticity.
Now that's what I want to hear. I need to hear that. Okay. Share with us with what happened in Las Vegas at the convention conference a couple of weeks ago, and then we'll talk about the rest of it later.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Las Vegas was a life-changing experience for a lot of people. Go Love Life officially launched the official Now You Know movement of the gut microbiome industry. So what they did is they put a movement out there to let everybody know the importance of gut health. And what they had is they had people all the way from all over the world, from the Asian Rim, from the UK, from the Netherlands, from all parts of the United States. They came together in Las Vegas and they launched the company. And all of a sudden, people started to see the importance of gut health and realizing that all the diseases and sickness and everything originates in the gut. And now what they did is they came together and started to power all of the products that they developed to repair the gut and keep the gut healthy with the noni industry, and created it with the original formulation that helped that $8 billion noni industry thrive, and put it with the Go Love Life products. And now it's about to create the Now We Know movement to let everybody know the importance of gut health. On top of that, they launched a new product that is going to be coming out at the end of the end of October, possibly November, but to show the importance of microbiomes in the skin, they came out with a skincare product that is going to revolutionize the skincare industry, that shows microbiomes that are not only in your gut, but how they revolutionize the skin. So I'm going to tell you, we have people coming across that have already earned 100,000 in income already in just 6 short months. We've had people 50K, 25K, 10K. Man, people that just got in 30 days ago already earning over 2 and 4K. I mean, they walked across the stage. Mr. Bibb, you were celebrated there. They had your name up there with 3 and 4 badges, that you earned, even though you couldn't make the celebration, but you were honored there. And I actually got your certificate and badges that I'll be bringing to Cleveland when the corporate is coming October 22nd. The corporate is actually coming to Cleveland, Ohio, to launch the Now You Know movement, and it is going to light Cleveland, Ohio on fire.
Are you telling me that corporate's coming to Cleveland, Ohio in October?
Yes, October 22nd. That's a Saturday. They're going to be coming to Cleveland, Ohio, and corporate is going to be launching the microbiome movement right in Cleveland, Ohio, along with you, one of the leaders that was celebrated in Las Vegas, along with one other leader that is there in Cleveland, Ohio. You two are going to be the ones that are spearheading the charge right there in Cleveland, and corporate is coming there looking for 10 to 15 individuals that want to learn about health, but also want to be the ones that spearhead a wealth movement movement right there in Cleveland that is going to be like none other.
Thank you, James Panicus Jr. from Detroit, Michigan. Brother Ben Fair, where you are, spend a lot of time up there in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Next time you go up, I will make sure you meet James Panicus Jr. And I appreciate you taking the time out to explain it to us. But I'm going to have to call on you one more time. Miss Candace, would you send to Detroit, Michigan, our Saturday celebration flyer?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, Mr. Panicus, I'm going to get the time. I want you to call into the celebration on Saturday. The hours that actually for you will be somewhere between 5 and 6.
All right.
All right?
Definitely.
Thank you. And as we get closer, I'll give you the exact time. And I appreciate everything you've done. And hold on to my badge and my prize and everything tight. Don't let nothing happen to them. All right. Did you hear that,
All
Mr.
right.
James Bell?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
If I'd have been there, I'd been walking the stage in Las Vegas. I got a special walk, Vegas walk. I want to thank everybody for doing a good job tonight. We had to change our schedule a little bit because we had hot information, and we're going to make it hotter next week because Miss Knight spoke. That was the first time she spoke. That I wanted to make sure I had the right information about Monday night at the Cleveland City Council meeting.
Yes.
Because when the union go to city council, two people are there. The mayor, Blaine Griffin, your good friend in your ward, Councilman James Jerome Bell, and the other Bibb, Justin Bibb, the mayor of Cleveland, were both there. And they tell me they're gonna have a rally